whilst APG is getting reset and ready to go, they're going to take a quick rotate, probably down towards the south past La Tierra, I'd imagine.
It's a very difficult set of rotates for the teams on the east, getting through a pod, so on the north side. Wave a bit of a roadblock on that east. It's actually a very treacherous approach to the centers areas of this circle. I wouldn't be too surprised to cut a lot of teams out, even here in stage 2, and not really be able to make it. Either that, or we'll see 3 or 4 teams in Montenuevo and El Pozo.
Kara currently lining up towards the concrete on the north side. Not a bad spot either. I actually quite like this position on the map for Kara. It is a bit awkward where you can't really play it on the rooftops too much because there is sightline from the eastern edge. But in terms of position to just play out the rest of the game, it certainly works that way. And a lot of this circle is based on basically survival towards those final moments of the match, because it is quite awkward at times. It depends if it moves down towards the south side, in which case that area becomes a little bit more of a hot spot. But right now for Kara, I think this is a safe position to play.
Got a decent chunk of it. Arena as well, with a high ground out to their west, a little bit less maneuverable, but potentially more profitable if they're able to find those shots, to find those angles onto the teams, trying to find any remnant of cover that is remaining on this one. PK, they have the point to the north of Montenuevo right now, under control against Ulf, but Ragnarok going to be backed off and will fold back in with the rest of his team. Meanwhile, on the southeast side, you've got Alpha Gaming. G approaching. Big split again for Alpha Gaming. They are not close to one another. Oh, a little bit of a trouble on the road there, but they do manage to extricate themselves from one another, keeping themselves nice and tidy on it. Big, whoa, hang on a minute. He's all the way up the top there. I was wondering, just drop off there, but no, he's climbed all the way up. And now Aragon sat on his mighty perch, able to take shots down.
Yeah, I mean, wow, you got up there and now you're immediately leaving. Okay, interesting. Wasn't worth it to him, apparently. Doesn't take too much fall damage, at least with this next circle moving away. Again, that spot would have been really good if this shifted hard over towards the western side. And I think Virtus Pro, you try and take the gambles where you can. In this case, they're already on the western side of the circle, so you may as well try and take high ground off the back of it. In the meantime, circle moves a little bit more comfortably towards the center here. There is really awkward ground over towards the western side of Regnum Kaya, which is dead center, by the way, which is very, very open. But I think the Regnum Kaya could get some decent results off the back of this game. I also like where the Xavier is currently playing on the high ground just on La Tierra, watching as teams rotate in from that southeast edge.
Yeah, it's going to be a real roadblock on that south side. You're right. It's going to force teams like OG, like Alpha Gaming, to go through a Stinky, which is already going to get pretty packed, or try and go over a ridgeline out in the open. Ulf have spotted a player from R8. Aaron able to find that shot, find that shutdown. R8, one by one almost, are leaving their buildings here. They flexed a player out now to try and combat on this high ground, but it's just not really too many easy positions to try and take against it. The Arena, they descended from the mountaintops and then now up to the Mad Bulls to try and slow them down. Lemon under a lot of pressure here. The team sallies forth to go for the rescue. Kara chiming in too. And they're getting lit up for the Arena.
Yeah, Arena backed off that position, and Mad Bulls will take the advantage on that one. Nades have to keep pouring through from the Arena to keep Mad Bulls at bay, but there are shots from up on high. That's from the Wolves already, finding good value off of this position. Kara did send out one outpost towards a longhouse on their south side, and because this fight is taking place, they might be able to get the rest of the team towards there, which is a little bit more central, a little bit more playable for them as well, as opposed to those concretes on the northwest.
There's about 5 teams in these cracks and crenellations right now on the rocky outcrops here, trying to survive like insects in the desert sun, scuttling from one bit of shade to the next, seeing if they can weather the onslaught from Kara, from Regnum Kaya, if they get a look at as well. The Wolves up top a little bit less worried. Still in danger. Circle will appear in 20 seconds. We'll know just where we're going. Who's going to have that advantage, north, south? Is it going to go out to the really horrible western part of this circle? We'll have to wait and see.
see there's this valley that cuts through the center of the circle. It's just really awkward to play. All finding one on the side of the map here. That's over towards R8, I believe. Enough engagement for R8, really stuck down the hillside here, and slowly surely more and more damage pours through, and R8 will be going down. Ulf will live this one out, but still lose one player in the process. That's all the way on the northeast side of the map, so they still got to cut through many teams here. But yeah, this circle being so central does cut a lot of teams out right now. OG able to find a position. Because it's so messy on this side of the map, OG might be able to find themselves a little position or a little route to get through. We'll wait and see how they want to play that one out, though. Alpha Gaming, barrel rolling in towards Geeke, and finding a knock to start things off.
That was stylish, okay. Looking for more as well. There's no re-knock found so far, but Yol and Top try to go in. Nah, it's under guard, under lock and key. You're not getting past them. Nurzed will be safe for now, but Reefus had more success on his angle, on his approach. APG down to just one player now. It is just Reefus alive for them on the roll-up. Will be able to get a house all to himself, and DK actually surviving as 3 here. Give the heals to come on through. Excellent work to hold that one down. Nurzed thought he was gonna, but no, he had a savior. Ragnarok, though, wants to try and force his team to save another person as he charges in on his own.
Yeah, it's just another curious crash with really no setup whatsoever other than the barrel roll, I suppose you could call it. And I think APG is just trying to win out these fights. It's a lot of ego challenges from Alpha Gaming. I don't know how far that's going to take them. On this gauntlet, at least, not very. I am slightly confused by that one. Did not feel like an international level play.
I mean, the thing with ego challenges is that they're supposed to bruise your ego when they don't go well, but it feels like APG is sort of immune to that factor, which is maybe why they're sort of poisoning themselves with it. It's a real tough time.
They're on a big split right now, and understandably so. I mean, playing around this region of the map, like you say, there is tons of teams all tucked into these positions right now because there's not many great places to go. For Regnum Kaya, this is a fantastic opportunity to get more points on the game. They have a very good location on the map to work with. The circle centers up towards them. So many good sight lines, just be taking shots, and they roughly know where all the teams are coming from as well, because it's absolutely down towards the southeast side and up towards the north. You know no one's really going to be wanting to be playing on that southwest edge of the map, and the only safety is on the western edge of this hillside.
APG down again. That is unfortunate. Can't style it out this time. TT, the Thunder Talk at the top of the tables. Happy as Larry. The only team who's actually very chill right now. Not really too worried. And actually, they're in a pretty solid spot. This west side of Monte Nuevo is going to work out for them for the time being. I just question how long they're going to be able to survive into this game. Getting out of there, going to be a tough task. Xavier, they are holding this south ridge really well. They will have oversight onto that Thunder Talk position. The approach is on every other angle, though. Incredibly packed with players.
And there it is. That's the circle we were looking for Regnum Kaya at least. And now things are going to get very difficult. I'm curious to see how OG plays this one out. I think Xavier have a good idea that OG are underneath them. But the options aren't amazing for OG here. They could just brute force it through Xavier. Considering how split they are as well, there's a good chance for it. It's just a question of how well Xavier scouted out his position. And I remember saying that about R8 versus OG, and it's R8 who took the first knock there too. So again, I don't think OG's been slacking at all in terms of the information gathering down that side. Great nade from Rebo over towards Doran, trying to take control of this high ground from the north side, but time is limited as the circle starts to squeeze them in.
Only 3 players alive, 4 balls, and that's going to leave Batten without a sight line up the top. It's really on to Higgles to try and stop Alpha 7 going up, but it looks like that is going to work. They're worried. They're maybe too worried about it. Push-up could have been successful, but in the meantime, Ulfa crashing in. There's about 8 teams up here blanking in the mountains. Regnum Kaya are going to be overlooking at them all. They're going to have shots at maybe a few of them. Scarface has to hit the deck behind his vehicle there. Had a real tough time of things. 7 continued the nade up top, but the res already came through. Kara want a chance at it, and they'll not be quite as timid as Alpha 7 in this situation. Doran trying to reposition, get away from things. Maybe regroup? Nah, not so lucky. CEO's got your number.
Yeah, super opportunistic right now coming through from Kara. This is a great moment to make this push over towards the top side. They waited for a team to start taking shots and split the attention of Wolves. Then when Wolves were looking both ways, that's when Kara looks to cross. Very, very good stuff from them. Now sending nades down the hill. Marso's also got an outpost towards the front side of things. This has been very, very calculated so far from Kara. Super clean from them. In the meantime, OG attempting to brute force it basically through Xavier, but struggling slightly on that side of things. And time is only running out for them down the southeast side of the map.
Xavier are going to have to move as well. And the teams on the north, not as necessary for them to try and shunt on in, but it is so prickly on this northern edge. So many teams, as I said before, like desert insects scuttling around this hilltop. Having a really rough time of it. Survival, the name of the game. With 13 teams remaining, I mean, we're getting in towards the sort of zones that you expect a lot fewer teams to be in existence here. OG are making their ascent, though, against Xavier, trying to find an opening.
Shot.
That's what they were looking for from Lambor. He will fall down. AKOP able to land that shot, tag it on. A Tanky moving up as well, but the Blue Zone's putting pressure on. They're playing around these smokes quite well. Farajin has to be back on the angle, and AKOP doing a lot of work. Heavy lifting coming on him, but his teammates have fallen around him, and it is going to be so much harder now to make this ascent. Fortunately, the reses need to come through for Xavier, and they're allowing him to move on the back line. AT steps in, and that will be the end of OG. Into the Valley of Death they ride, and they will be shut down because of it, but not before extracting their pound of flesh from Xavier.
Yeah, it's a tough rotate. It's a tough rotate to make, and I think for OG, they were banking on this being a southeast shift. And I mean, that's a very strong position if that's the case, but pushing up on that hillside, so hard. For Regnum Kaya, though, it's an easy game for them. Honestly, it depends how Kara plays out this end game, but I think for Regnum Kaya,